Hello everyone, you have come to Tata Comic Preview channel. Let read together. Have fun. Looking at the ground, it was now littered with sacred stones from all the shaking. He sighed. I'm so stupid. No harm was done since he would just take these pickings, which would be all the same. Zhuo Fan had no shame whatsoever. But then he noticed his still bleeding right hand and frowned, returning Dragon's roar. Roar. Following the roar, his hand was covered in a flash of green, filled with life, yet the Qilin arm was still wounded like before. Startled, Zhuo Fan frowned. Is it that the Qilin arm can't be healed, or maybe the wounds from a sacred weapon can't be healed? Since this was his first injury to the Qilin arm, Zhuo Fan was a little unsure. Never mind, I'll just let it recover with time. After so many years, I ended up bloody wounded in action. I best keep this under wraps, or my actions here will be revealed. Holding some bandage, he wrapped it tight around his arm. Then he let his sleeve hide it before he went deeper into the cave. In the end, his main objective was to investigate the array. He wouldn't be at ease going back with just a sacred weapon. This is the place where the sacred mine is sealed. The cave couldn't be dug any further since it must have hit a wall. Touching the end of the tunnel, Zhuo Fan pondered. He noticed light flowing along the wall, like some kind of barrier, covered in all kinds of symbols. His eyes widened. I knew it. The one who set this array up must be a master. It's so ingenious I can't find the slightest weakness. It's as if. Zhuo Fan narrowed his eyes. It is just like lightning canyons who trapped soaring Qilin. It can't be the same person or expert that set it up, right? That would mean this was another remnant of an emperor. Just what on earth happened in the mortal domain in the past? Why would such an expert leave his mark here? Even with the 9 Serenity's secret records, breaking through this ingenious array was impossible as he was now. He only got to enter the lightning canyon because soaring Qilin used its life to make a hole. As for the other 2 forbidden zones, he wouldn't get in even if he risked his life. Their arrays were intact. Forget about even getting in touch with those sacred beasts, not when he couldn't open the door. Tracing his fingers over the wall, Zhuo Fan was mulling over something. Then he opened his eyes wide, and 2 golden halos flashed in his right. Divine Eye of the Void's second stage, Void Annihilation. Bam! The spatial power struck the wall loudly. Then it was over. The barrier didn't even shake. Though it did flash a bit after as if to mock Zhuo Fan that he was all bark and no bite. Zhuo Fan sighed. This array is ridiculously strong. Not even Void Annihilation, specialized in breaking arrays, can do a thing to it. He would never get it open as he was now, a mere ant against the world. My only choice is to wait until after I go beyond the mortal domain to try again. Zhuo Fan gave up the search and was about to return to the valley. However, he made sure to spruce this place up with how messy it was. And so, without further ado, he picked the walls clean of any and all sacred stones. By using shift now and then, Zhuo Fan popped all over the mountain as he avoided the hundreds of monitoring arrays. All he left behind was now a bare, dark cave like he was some thief who couldn't get enough. It was a good thing the exalted double dragons didn't see him, or they'd be spitting blood right about now. Those sacred stones were tens of times the reward the double dragon gathering offered the 9 sects this time. It took 1,000 years to form, and yet they were gone just like that. May you rot in hell, Zhuo Fan. How fortunate indeed, the 2 exalted were oblivious. Of course, Zhuo Fan could never let them know, though his wounded right arm was a giveaway. Zhuo Fan frowned and held it close. It was its first wound, and he was a little worried. In the last few fights he had, no one could even scratch it, so coming out wounded all of a sudden would definitely attract the exalted's gazes. That'll be bad for sure. Squinting, Zhuo Fan was pondering on a solution. Whoosh! An hour later, Zhuo Fan reappeared in the valley. Alas, gone was the natural beauty and lush scenery, now covered in ever-flowing blood that gave it a nasty stench. One should not forget the constant symphony of wails and cackles that accompanied such a view. It brought this work of art to life. Bang! Don't hit me, please. I give. Just let me go. Damn you. Now you know when to surrender? What were you doing before then? Where'd your arrogance go? What about yesterday's cockiness? Hi, if I don't set you straighter than an arrow now, then I'm no demon scheming sex disciple. Kuei Lang's laughter echoed through the valley, filled with the promise of brutality. Zhuo Fan looked around, and he saw punches and kicks raining down on one helpless victim. Guai Hu, Kuei Lang, and the rest were dishing out all the beatings they could, like a master lashing out at his servant. As for the one who wailed beneath their feet, that was Ran Song. You and the girls stood aside with a thick, loathing gaze on their faces. When they noticed Zhuo Fan, they bowed. Steward Zhuo, welcome back. Did you get the prick? Zhuo Fan asked. The girls turned to the others and nodded. Bai Lian bowed a bit as she reported, Steward Zhuo, heaven-trailing sex disciples have all been killed, except Ren Kong. Based on his status, we can't kill him. So we captured him, sealed his cultivation, and let the others thrash him until now. As you should have. Ran Song can't be killed, or it will force heaven-trailing sect to desperate action. Zhuo Fan nodded, then he showed a nasty smile, though that doesn't mean we shouldn't put him in his rightful place. Since he liked showing off yesterday, let's show him how it's truly done. By the way, how come you aren't enjoying the kicking festival along with those guys? The three girls blushed and fell silent. Zhuo Fan paused, but then he noticed something. I get it. A lady is to be reserved and shouldn't lower herself to such barbaric and vile actions. But as someone treading the demonic path, you should learn to let go. Come, let's kick him a couple of rounds. It'll make us feel better. Zhuo Fan waved as he strutted over. But the girls still hung their heads in the same spot. This isn't like you at all. Zhuo Fan looked back with an odd gaze, especially you, Yu Ling. When you were the boss of the labor office, you were more arrogant than ever. Why the sudden shyness over kicking someone? Steward Zhuo. It's better if you see for yourself. Yu Ling blushed harder and pointed at the crowd. Zhuo Fan was intrigued now. Going over, he looked from behind the kicking frenzy. Brothers, please make way. Allow me to join. Steward Zhuo is back. Make way. Steward Zhuo wants to let off steam. Kuei Lang looked back, and his eyes lit up when he saw Zhuo Fan. The others moved away with bright smiles, letting Zhuo Fan have his fun. Now the scene was revealed in all its glory to him that had him stumped. He gave an odd look to the rest, especially those shy ladies. Now he got the gist of their reluctance. Ran Song was nothing more than a curled-up ball of bruises and wounds, twitching and even whimpering. That wasn't the least of it, though. He was stripped of clothes, and blood was also gathering underneath him. Zhuo Fan couldn't help sneering at them. You should know not to take it too far in your games. You even stripped him naked. He is, after all, the young master of the heaven-trailing sect. Doing this in front of thousands of people, he won't have the shame to get out of his room. That's just what I wanted. I bet he won't be able to get out of his home even back at his sect. Kuei Lang snickered. He pointed at the blood under Ran Song and followed the trail of blood. Look, Steward Zhuo. Zhuo Fan did look and was speechless before crying out, you sure have unique tastes. He gave them a funny look, then gave a loathing handshake. Next time, don't talk to me. I am not a sicko but a perfectly normal human being. No wonder even Yu Ling, with her nasty temper, stood behind. You guys just aren't normal. The three girls from afar shook and covered their ears, trying anything to stop hearing his words. The curled-up Ran Song twitched on cue, and his sobbing increased. Kuei Lang's face twitched. Steward Zhuo, who do you take us for? We're not sick, at least not to that degree. Didn't we vent for you? The prick had gone overboard yesterday, so we used a club to. Kuei Lang lifted a bloody wooden stick. Zhuo Fan hurriedly held his nose and jumped back a couple of steps. He glared at them in disgust. Put that away, you filthy animals. Animals, woo. Ren Song shook as he cried. For the first time ever, he agreed with Zhuo Fan. Giving him a long look, Zhuo Fan shook his head, sympathizing with him. Then he turned to Kuei Lang and the others, barking, "You're the ones who've gone overboard. Ever heard the saying, death before dishonor?" The guys were stumped. They did not get Zhuo Fan. Didn't they do what he asked? Why was he angry? Ren Song lifted his wretched and crying face and gave Zhuo Fan a strange look. Was he the rescuer among this band of scumbags? However, Zhuo Fan's next line made his mouth twitch. Couldn't you have just gotten rid of the flesh and taken around with his soul? That kind of pain is the most exquisite. Moreover, it's far less nasty and messy. I should have known that all vile demons are the same. Ren Song thought. With a plop, the club fell to the ground. Zhuo Fan spoke with deep loathing. The others were stumped for a moment, then cackled. That's the steward Zhuo we know. Even if left alive, it won't do without scarring him good. You're the best team leader ever. Kuei Lang snickered and patted his chest, rest assured, sir. We shall have no compassion, no shred of sympathy, and will be sure to make him pay. Thrashing him was going too easy on him. It's just that you said we should take our sweet time, so there's plenty of stuff we haven't yet tried. I told you to take your time so you could buy me time. It wasn't so you could turn him into your punching bag. Then again, the result ain't half bad. Recalling his haul, Zhuo Fan grinned. Then he looked at the shivering mess on the ground, afraid the act was about to resume, and Zhuo Fan shook his head. This beating will leave a deep trauma in Ren Song's psyche. He's done for. Well, not my fault he had to prance in my face. Hold on. Zhuo Fan squinted suddenly. Then he looked at his right hand. All right. Brothers, get rid of his body, and let's have a go with his soul. One last push, and we're done for today. Guei who looked at everyone. He got Zhuo Fan's implied meaning and acted accordingly.